fact.
Yeah, I've got before. It's not looking good. I'm going into this week. I know I can't do the vast majority of.
No!
MKKK only worked with Red Dead in Season 3 because he was one of Cyclops' fucking minions. He's gonna be like that.
He is not a second talker. Not a second talker. When is Cyclops gonna come out with Epic Pro being his ult?
He already has. It's not his ult.
Oh.
Is it his ult?
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I just admitted it.
No. I mean, deadly serious. Even I know that's not his ult.
Oh my god.
They are two separate people. Albert, let me join the party now. Okay, you.
We need a cheeseburger versus. Brooklyn, what wigs are you running?
I'll go home.
Alrighty.
You have to watch my stream to find out.
No, I can do.
Napoleon the Doge.
Kaji is gonna.
Zach P3.
My coin fell.
No matter what day it is, there's always something, always someone watching.
That's just what it always does.
Red Pepper 6 on an out lap. We got Zach on an out lap, and we got Napoleon the Doge on an out lap. Back again. Did I say Cyclix? I said Zach. I said Zach. Yeah. BD's actually gaslighting me, bro. I'm gonna... A good one, Doge. Good one. Already retired from the session. Yeah, did he bin it? No way. You can't make this up. Oh my god, what happened there? So does McLaren actually have a hit on Alpha right now? Because I swear I just saw Zach swerve into my guy for no reason. Is there actually... I could be very wrong, and he could have just messed up the corner horribly, and that's the narrative I'm going for right now, that he just messed up terribly. And here comes Red Pepper 6. What kind of time is he going to get driving here in Canada? In with Ferrari. Who? Who's staying VC? Who? Who are you asking? Oh. Oh my god! Red Pepper 6. No. Yeah, I know. And I do not care. Coming for the chicane, rounding next to the wall of champions. Red Pepper 6, what's the time gonna be? 1:10.741, solid time. Red Pepper 6, we're gonna go on board with Alfio Free Jones now and see what kind of time he's gonna be able to get. I don't like his car. I don't like him. Meanwhile, BD still drives with Alfa Romeo in EGPC to this day. Please. I swear to God, bro, if I have to hear everybody... Coming now through the hairpin. Down the straight, DRS now. Coming in to the... I could ear rape you right now, but you know what I won't. Alfie Jones, little sweep there with the Wall of Champions. Going to come across the line, 109.729. Tame Super Jazz, an invalidated lap. Not going to be able to make any time there. And we're going to see what Fate F4 is going to do. Going with the AlphaTauri right now. In Sector 2, DRS open. Coming into the chicane. And now up to the hairpin. Kezi up front. Excuse me. Oh, there was some throw up in that too. Through the hairpin. And now, coming down the final straight. DRS open once again. Expect to hit a speed of about 325, I think. Into the braking zone, coming around the final chicane, and he's going to invalidate it in the final corner there. It's looking like an okay lap, but unfortunately not much more to come from it. Audi going to come across the line, 111.151. Looking to try and get a better lap time here. And now PLG Global coming down through the hairpin. DRS open. Coming through the chicane. What's the time going to be? PLG now coming across the line. 110.955. That's going to be enough to get him into P3 behind Red Pepper 6. I already said you guys way overreacted with PLG. I told you guys that. Tame Super Jazz, 111.551. Kezia, 113.255. Luck Boy now, unfortunately, invalid. That's crazy. So Zach an invalid lap, Luck Boy an invalid lap. No! I'm so glad me and Fate were in the exact same place with that. He's on an outlap. He didn't impede anyone. Outlap. He was on an outlap. Yes. This is impeding wars. Impeding wars. Oh! Oh! Grim. Grim off the track there. And here comes Audi now, coming across the line to go try and set another lap. 111.151 his time. What can he do now? A circuit Gilles Villeneuve, originally called the Notre Dame, and was a track named after, of course, Gilles Villeneuve. Driver died in 1982 after a big miscommunication there between Jochen Mass and him going into the final chicane through Zolder, as Villeneuve was trying to set a fastest lap to beat his teammate Didier Pironi. I don't even know why I tried to attempt a history lesson while I was in here with you guys. That was absolutely horrible timing. Here comes Audi. Now we're going to go on board with Audi through the final chicane. What's it going to be? Can he keep it clean? Yes, he can. It's looking like it's going to be a decent lap. 1:10.579. That gets him into P2 there. Solid lap time by the Red Bull driver. As Alfie now looked like he was on an improvement, but it looks like he's actually falling a little bit behind, not getting the time he would want, but he actually does okay there. Gets a good Sector 2. However, his Sector 1 was a lot slower. The other Alfa Romeo up front there, that's PLG Global beside him. And now, Alfie going to be coming through the final chicane. Is he going to make an improvement? I feel the time lost on a Sector 1 might not do much for that, and no, it won't be an improvement for this lap. And unfortunately, nothing to really do in that one. Why did you say it like that, Audi? That sounded so... Now here comes PLG. What time can PLG? Can PLG make an improvement to that 1:10.955 and beat Audi's time of the 1:10.579? He's got the Alfa Romeo of Alfie giving PLG a tow. PLG getting a tow down the straight. 334 kilometers per hour now coming into the corner through the final chicane now, closing to the wall of champions. And now it's going to be PLG Global. Global coming across the line, 1:10.226, and that's going to put PLG Global into P2. I don't even have to talk in chat. The drivers just drive themselves. And now Zach. Can Zach set a valid lap? He has yet to do so. 5 minutes 27 left on the clock. And this is going to be important now. He needs to set a valid lap time here to help McLaren out. Napoleon the Doge unable to set any lap time as he retired immediately in this one.
I'm gonna go for a lap if I one, and if I find it again, take my wallet.
Okay.
This is a weird VC. Who's, like, taking apart their, like, steering wheel?
I think it's Tim because he was
Always having the,
And now Zach coming around the final two corners. He finally gets the clean lap. What's the time going to be now? Coming across the line, 1:10.555. That's going to be enough to take Audi out of the top three and jump over him by just that little bit of time.
Oh my god, I'm on used soft. If I go in right now, do I have time for another lap?
352.
Yes or no?
Yeah, you'll have enough.
I'm on used soft.
So Feta 4 diving into the pits, accidentally went on used softs. Yeah, you can see those used softs, in fact. Go change tires there and try again. Oh no. Anyways, last week. Oh. And now we have Tame here driving the new Dacia Sandero. Are you singing Red Hot Chili Peppers right now, dog? Are you singing Can't Stop right now? I mean, one, thank God my mic audio doesn't catch, but also thank God it's so off-key that it won't even get copyright striked anyways. On board now with Tame Super Jazz, 111.158 his time. Can he make an improvement? Overdoes it a little bit into the hairpin. And now, can you like be quiet just a little bit, man? Or not. Tame now coming down straight. What's the time gonna be coming into the final chicane? Beautifully done. What's the time gonna be? 1:10.644. He's gonna split the Ferrari. Oh. Oh. So Grimm is out of the qualifying session. Something just happened to the Ferrari. Tame's gonna meet him. Well, driving as well. Yeah. Fade F4 now coming out to try and do one more. He now has a chance to get this lap in. This will be the only lap he's going to get. So he better have those tires warmed up, his brakes ready to go, because he only gets one chance at this to seize everything he ever wanted in one moment. So will he capture it, or will he just let it slip? What was I saying? Fate F4 across the line through the very interesting T1 and 2 section corner segment. Then you're going to come into the many chicanes on this track. Fate F4 struggling a little bit with this lap. Luck Boy has retired from the session. And there's a Red Bull in the middle of the track. That's Audi. Audi gets out of the way nice and beautifully for Fate to get through. And now, Fate trying everything he can to pick up the pace and get into that 111, 110 range. The 110 range is roughly where he's going to want to be at. If he can't get into the 110s, he's going to be in a pretty bad situation. Zach retires from the session, happy with the 110.555. Alfio Free Jones going to improve on the lap to a 109.54. And now Fade F4 gonna be coming across the line here. 111.163. Red Pepper 6 looking to go for improvement. Tame retiring from the session. 110.644 his time. Red Pepper 6 now trying to get the improvement. Audi about to finish his... Well, Audi obviously finished. Red Pepper 6 now. What is Red Pepper 6 going to do now? Through the final chicane. I'm going to have to tell my drivers to use braking assist or something. Like automatic brakes. No, we're just waiting for Kezi for her team to hurry the heck up. Alfio Free Jones first. PLG P2 Alfa Romeo will front row lockout with Zach P3 and Audi P4. Tame Super Jazz and Red Pepper 6 will be 5 and 6, with Fade F4 and Luck Boy making up row 4. Kezi and Napoleon will be making up those top 10 starters. Napoleon and Grim, though, not setting lap times, with Grim starting at the back of the field. Alright, I'll see you guys after the race because I cannot stand hearing this anymore. Alright, peace at last. We are now coming for you for the Canadian Grand Prix. 35 laps to decide the victor here. And only time will tell who's going to win this one. $11 cars trying to debate who will win this Grand Prix. Also, I should mention, this is my first Grand Prix as a team principal, as I am the team principal of Alfa Romeo in UFOL. Of course, it doesn't mean I'm going to be biased to my drivers in the commentary booth. And here we go now. On the track, 5 red lights. The first race of UFOL. And it's go! Alfio Free Jones gonna get a decent start off the line. PLG gonna slide in behind. The 2 Alfa Romeos looking to try and build that gap up nice and early with Zach. Tame Super Jazz gonna go side by side with Albert, trying to make that move nice and early. Make it stick. Get up a position. As I think Fade F4 gonna be caught in the crossfire of another starting incident as usual. And this has kind of become the promise with Tame. His luck does not run well here in UFOL. And it continues. The streak continues into this season. And now it's going to be side by side. Kezi and Grim. Grim trying to send it down the inside. He's going to get the move done. Beautiful work there. Up in the P8 for Grim. Getting down the inside there on Kezi as he now tries to continue that race and try and pull up those positions. Trying to work his way up the grid. Zach on the back of PLG Global. Might be looking for a move here at some point here. Gonna need to try and stick his nose in. PLG Global, though, he knows how to defend, and I'm sure he's going to be trying to make sure that Zach cannot keep the gap close. Alfie there trying to make sure his teammate has toe and trying to bring that teammate with him. Audi falling behind, though, of the rapidly quick Zach. He's clearly showing some pace there on the back end of PLG Global. Alfie trying to build up that gap, feeling real confident there in Canada. And Luck Boy now. We're going to go on board with him as he chases down Red Pepper 6 in the Ferrari in P6. Ferrari right now running that 6-8. Luck Boy in P7 behind Red Pepper 6, splitting both those Ferraris. The possible race strategies have come up. Zach makes the move on PLG Global, gets the move done there. And now PLG going to try and come back at him side by side. PLG now looking to try and drop it down the inside. He'll get the move done there beautifully. And more importantly, he gets back ahead of Zach. Zach going to be looking to try and come back, though. And he is not going to take that lying down. Audi, he's in the background there. He's not insanely close, but being in the background there means he can capitalize on the battling between PLG and Zach if something is to happen. So his job is to stay right there, stay as close as he can to those drivers, and try to capitalize on a mistake between the both of them. And if he can do that, he'll have some free positions coming his way. And same with Tame, who's also remaining fairly close to this. However, you have to be careful too, because you never know what can happen in a race like this, and there could be a mess at any point. Zach now on the back, DRS enabled, and looking for the move. Gonna try and send it down the inside. PLG gonna be put back there. And now gonna have to try and take that position away, although Zach gonna get a free second time penalty for multiple warnings, testing his limits with the track a little too much there. As now PLG gonna have to sit behind Zach for a little bit. Zach's got the pace, but he has a free second time penalty, which is gonna make it hard as he has a little bump there with the wall. Gonna have to be careful of how much he bumps those. Remember, the damage rate has been risen this season. I think I remember that at least in the regulation talk. I don't know if we actually did it though for this race. However, it was supposed to be raised though going into this season. Because I remember the reg talk for it, and the vote was in for it to be raised. To, I think, regular, if I'm not mistaken. PLG Global now on the back of Zach, looking for a chance here to make a move, and make a move for the lead for P2. Will it come now? To the back. He's not going to be close enough. Zach going to be able to stay ahead. PLG takes a little look there, more just trying to make sure he keeps out of the dirty air and keep a little bit of clean air running on those wings so that he can at least get through the corner safely and not make a big mistake. And Fade F4 now in the battle with Kezi. Also, PLG going for the move now on Zach down the outside over here. This is crazy. Zach, though, going to be able to keep the door closed. PLG not going to be able to make the move there. And Zach, a beautiful job of defending that one from happening. Not that there was much that PLG could do there, as he's actually being pressured now by the Red Bull of Audi, who's right behind. Zach, though, going to go way wide. PLG going to have a chance to stick his front nose in, but not going to have a chance to make the overtake just yet. DRS open now. This time now, looking around the outside. He knows Zach is going to try and defend the inside, and also he knows he should be fast enough there. The speed differential was good enough, and he makes the overtake nice and easily. Audi still in the background of this battle, knowing now that how hard these two are battling gives him more than a good enough opportunity here to try and stick his nose in on one of them and possibly make a position. But he has to be careful, too, because he also is bringing Tame Super Jazz along for the ride. This battle for second is really popping off right now. Alfie, of course, building the big gap. It was about what I expected. 4.3 seconds. Audi now. Behind Zach. And Zach looking for the move there. Really trying to get it done, but he makes a big mistake there, and that's going to let Audi through. Audi now running side by side with the McLaren. Zach backs out and drops to 4th place there. Audi, beautiful execution. And what did I say? Audi was right there to capitalize on a mistake when it came, and it came just then, and Audi capitalizes on it wonderfully. And now he's the one tasked with chasing down PLG. Oh, over the curb, though. Zach gets a little loose, too. Tame going to get to capitalize on another Zach mistake. And Audi also makes a mistake there that gets him a penalty, as penalties are basically all around. Grim and Fate they've actually stayed out of the penalty range, and same with Kezi, and of course PLG and Alfie have been able to stay away from the penalties as well. Tame now chasing down the Red Bull of Audi, getting around Zach wonderfully there, as we're now going to go on board with the Williams driver and see what he's doing to try and get up to the back of this Red Bull and try and see also what's going on between Audi and PLG. Tame, though, not able to keep the speed up, and he's just really struggling there to keep up with the Red Bull of Audi. Audi now on the back end of PLG Global, might be looking for the move here, might get the chance. He will, sending it down the inside. Audi going to have to back out, though. He knows he doesn't nearly have the speed advantage right now to make that overtake stick at the current moment. Now as for tire strategy, something to consider. Most drivers running the medium, Audi and Napoleon trying to obviously run a offset strategy there, starting on the hards, trying to get those extra laps in the lead, and then changing to the mediums. We'll see if that will work out. Obviously, we know the mediums will begin to fall off. This is one of those tracks where tire drag is a bit of an issue, and of course that's because a big portion of this track does rely on mechanical grip as much as it does downforce, with the amount of chicanes being absolutely huge in a race like this. 4 different chicanes, constant left-right motion, makes this track a big tire wear. And now we're watching Audi behind PLG right now. Looks for the move on the Alfa Romeo, pulls to the outside. Still not going to be able to beat PLG on the brakes there, and struggling to really try and get around that Alfa Romeo. He'll get another chance here now. Audi relentless with the attack, just swarming him with a barrage, but again not going to be late enough on the brakes to really make that move stick. Tame now actually caught up to the back of Audi now. The battling has definitely brought him a little bit closer, and now into a chance here to really try and attack the Williams. Zach, though, falling behind a little bit, losing the pace that he had, and you can definitely see it. Maybe some confidence being shattered a little bit. He'll have to try and find that back, though, because he knows he's still close enough to Zach. If he can close enough to Tame, and if he can still build that up. But he also has to watch now, because he's also got a fret of cars behind him. Red Pepper 6 and Look Boy are chasing him right now, and he's in his own war right now. He's got a war here for 5th, and he's leading it, right ahead of the AlphaTauri and the Ferrari. And now Audi still trying to chase down. He'll get another chance at this. This is basically what it's going to be. It's push and pull right now. Audi trying to push his way in. PLG trying to pull him away. This time, though, not much PLG could do to defend. Audi going to make the move and up into P2. Beautiful work by Audi there to move his way up. Red Pepper 6 going to see another 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. And now we're just going to see what's going to happen here in a race like this. PLG doing everything he can to try and keep up with the Red Bull that clearly has some pretty good pace right now and is definitely finding some confidence on this one. Audi being known as the comeback merchant doesn't shock me, because it seems every time he does a comeback or takes a break from a race, he has an absolutely astounding performance. Now, Canada is also one of the tracks that I've talked about, and I've also, knowing Audi as a driver, Canada is one of those tracks. It was one of the first tracks he actually got kind of good at in the games. When I first started with him back when F1 23 was the new game. Or I shouldn't say new game, but when F1, well, yeah, it was actually the new game, just added to Game Pass and everything. So that was one of the first, his first really good track that he really started to learn was Canada, and you can see just how confident he is here on this track, where he feels the pace, where he feels good about it. And so now PLG gonna have to do a hell of a job here to really try and pull himself alongside Audi and make an overtake stick. PLG is not a slouch, and he's not an idiot. He's not gonna overdo it, and he's not gonna try to send himself into a battle he can't make. However, it doesn't mean any driver doesn't have their reckless moments, and PLG is going to have to be patient here. There's no sense rushing a race this early on in the Grand Prix. Audi, though, bringing home another 3-second time penalty as the penalties keep stacking up for some of these top drivers. And Zach's going to make a retirement. There's been an incident, a crash involving the McLaren of Zach. Something's happened. VSC is out on the track. And that's going to slow this race down a little bit. Big incident there. Full safety car is out. Something has happened with the McLaren of Zach. We've lost McLaren losing one of their drivers. Hello. So safety car just happened. What happened to Zach? Did anyone see it? Because I didn't see it. And the Alfa Romeos are going to double stack, both going on to the hard tires now. I say double stack, it wasn't really a double stack. Audi deciding to run on mediums. I'm actually kind of enjoying. I was actually enjoying this little freeway fight we've had with Audi, PLG, and Tame. You've kind of been there, Tame. Enjoying it. You've been a spectator, primarily. I wouldn't say it. You've stayed close. You've stayed close. Also, I was expecting a lot more involving Doge. It's been a little too silent, and that's got me concerned. Yeah, I know, but usually he like spins out 15 times a Grand Prix. He actually hasn't like at least spun out. That's why I'm shocked. Hello, Fate. Did you see what happened with Zach? Okay, I was just making sure, because all of a sudden Zach retired, and I have no idea what happened. All I saw was he retired. I tried to go, like, onto people to see where he is. I saw where he was on the track map, but I didn't see anything about, like, his crash or anything. To be fair, Audi, isn't Canada one of the first tracks you actually got kind of good at? Because I remember, at least when I used to play F123 with me, you and Chase, when you were not as good of a player, you were always excited whenever we chose Canada. Oh, hey, look. So... Which... Yeah, oversteered and overdid it on the throttle. Hit the wall and lost his car. His car just got eviscerated. His car just got eviscerated. He literally, his car disappeared. He's still in he's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. He's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. He's still in the racing seating position, but he's just not holding a steering wheel. He's just floating in the sky, and he holds like the sign up and then falls to the ground like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Yeah. Grim and Faye have stayed out of penalties. Yeah, Grim and Faye have stayed out of penalties.
So you're in AI. That'd be fucking mine. Oh,
Is it just me or is like Kezi like extremely like loud?
just slow.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if other people know that because like Kezi's like blowing my eardrums out right now.
You do bad damage, Kim.
I have to pit for a new win.
Oh, I know why you're doing damage to my eardrums. Why do I have you at 200? Why are you at 200? Alfio Free Jones leading this one for the safety car. PLG behind. Audi splitting both the Alfa Romeos. How is this race start gonna go? The Williams behind. I will catch you guys after the race or if there's another safety car. And now, what's it gonna look like? Alfio Free Jones gonna be trying to get this race restarted. PLG behind Audi. P3, P1, Red Pepper 6, a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Luck Boy. That's probably going to be challenged. But we'll have to see now. Safety car into the pits. Alfie now getting us prepared for the start, giving us a nice slow burner. When's he going to launch that throttle? When's he going to put the hammer down? And when is he going to go? It's going to be right now. PLG going to be caught absolutely lacking on that restart. And that's going to put him right into the clutches of Tame Super Jazz, I think. Audi there did actually a pretty good job there of reacting to the start, and he's actually pretty close to the back of that car. And now with a chance to fight for the possible race lead, he's going to make contact with the wall, though. Napoleon going to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And PLG trying to pick up the pace there and catch up to Audi. Audi on the faster tires, though. He is on the mediums, which means he will have that tire speed advantage off the start of the Grand Prix. Start of the restart. However, those tires will fall off quicker, and it is a risky strategy. However, he did start on the hards and unfortunately doesn't have another hard set to go. So Audi is going to have to be careful in the final laps of this race, especially in terms of attacking and defending. Otherwise, he could find himself very much in a position where he is bleeding time and there's nothing he could do about it. Especially because another stop here in a track that I think you can one-stop if you did go into the hards then. It could turn into a 2-stop for Audi, so he's going to have to hope and pray he can keep the pace up and try and get going. Otherwise, he may find himself in a really dire position in a few laps. Alfio Free Jones, though, going to drop the fastest lap, a 1:11.941 there on the hard tires. And it's Red Pepper 6 now, coming up behind Luck Boy now. P5, Red Pepper 6, though, getting the 5-second penalty there for that severe collision. Supposedly, anyways, severe collision. And now that's going to be seen. He knows he needs to get around Luck Boy now, and he also knows he needs to start running. Otherwise, this is going to be a very bad situation for him in this race. He also has a bunch of accumulated penalties, too, from the track limits. I think 6 seconds. So he's got about 11 seconds of penalties. So he's riding on one hell of a hope and a dream right now in this race. When I say one hell of a hope and a dream, I mean one hell of a hope and a dream. This does not look great. DRS now enabled. Fade F4 getting a 3-second time penalty. And PLG Global now. He stayed close enough to Audi. Audi falling away from Alfio Free Jones. PLG Global going to have a chance now to try and clap back on Audi as he's trying to close the distance here, too, to the second place driver. As the fight for third continues, as the fight for second continues between the two of them now. And the first DRS zone and chance will come here. This is an overtaking opportunity, but it's a risky one. It's more so just to try a DRS zone to keep you close to the driver in front. Audi, though, does very good job through the corners there and really is able to get himself going. PLG knows this, and he's going to have to pick up the pace now to try and get a beautiful, try and set up that overtake, get that nose in, and try and poke his way through. He's not going to be able to get the overtake this lap around, but he might be able to get it in a few more if he can keep up the pace. Now, obviously, another thing to consider, too, is Audi's advantage right now in pure pace right now, just based off the tires. On the mediums, he's going to have that little extra bit of oomph, especially through the corners, and it is going to help him big time. However, he has to be careful, though, because if he gets loose like that, he is going to put himself right in the threat range for PLG. PLG running behind, trying to make something stick here. And now we're actually going to go back here now because we got a battle here between the Ferraris and the AlphaTauris. 5 to 8th. It's a 5th to 8th is a battle between both Ferraris and both AlphaTauris. Who's going to come out in front in this one? Only time will tell. But it's going to be definitely, I feel, a nice battle, especially with Grimm picking up on Luck Boy, who I think is struggling a little bit right now in the pace department. This may give Grimm a chance to move through and make an overtake. He's going to look for it. He's going to try and set it down the inside here through the hairpin. Bit of contact there. Ooh, Luck almost into the wall. Some real hard racing here between the two of them. Fate right behind, trying to look for an opportunity to get through. I don't think it's going to come. He's going to try and come through on his teammate now. It's going to be side by side. They don't want to get into a trouble. I think one's going to have to back out. Fate is fortunately enough, far back enough, and it's going to be okay. Luck Boy going to be in front of Fate, and now both Ferraris leading the AlphaTauris. That rhymed. Wow, that's bars. Fate, though, trying everything he can. He also wants to get into this race. We want to get some action. AlphaTauri looking to try and bring home a solid haul of points. And they know that they do not have time to afford to be wasting here. This war is going to continue. And it's not going to be an easy one. And now Grimm going to pass Red Pepper 6 into P5. There we go. Beautifully done by Grimm. And now the teammates have swapped positions and are both trying to use each other as I think a bit of a DRS train to try and run away from the AlphaTauris behind. As this battle for 5th continues. The AlphaTauris, though, I think struggling just that little bit more there in terms of pace, and it's not helping them in a race like this. Fate F4, though, he did pass his teammate and is now trying to chase down Red Pepper 6's Luck Boy, starting to fall away a little bit. I think struggling overall in the pace and just trying to get through this track. He hasn't shown the best pace in Canada, and I think he's feeling a bit of a home race curse here, just not having the pace that I think he's capable of, especially at some other tracks. And it's just been a struggle for him this weekend, really trying everything he can here. Into the pits goes Tame Super Jazz. Fate F4. PLG now gonna make the overtake on Audi. Gets it done up in the P2 there, down the straight, and through the chicane, where I feel now the mediums are gonna start to fall to a more even pace here with the hard tires. I still think there's gonna be enough there for Audi to fight back, but the question is, will you have enough in about 5 to 8 laps time, or is that when the mediums are really gonna start to show those struggles? Has something happened to Tamer? Has he gone into the pits again? I think he went into the pits. He's lost a lot of positions now. He did go into the pits, and he's lost a lot of positions now, down to P8 in this one. I think he got into something or made a big mistake there. Maybe did some damage to his car. And now he's in a bad position now. He's lost a lot of positions, but for the Ferraris and the AlphaTauris, this is good. That means they've gained an extra haul of points here. Every single one of them as he falls out in front of Napoleon the Doge. Audi now challenging for the overtake. Gonna try and send it down the inside there. Does it well. And he's gonna make it through. And now PLG gonna have to try and send it back on him. Obviously the DRS zone here is technically a double DRS zone. So it's actually a defensive move if you get through the chicane in first. I should say ahead of the driver you're battling. You can then use that second DRS and a tiny bit of ERS and kind of use that as a little defensive move as you try to burn out the ERS of the car behind you. As we go on board with PLG Global through this battle. Can he find a weakness on that Red Bull right now? I think the tires are close, and it's just going to be a DRS battle between the two of them until the tires, I think, ultimately will fall for Audi. I don't think his hard strategy was the right go, but then again, you can never predict when a safety car will happen, nor can you predict when someone's going to crash. Tame Superjazz gets another free second timer, and Audi into the pits. He's decided to make that next pit stop. He realizes that he doesn't have much more to go on those tires, and he realizes that, if anything, it's a waste of time to even try and stay on those, knowing the condition that they're going to be in. He goes for a two-stopper, and is going to try again with another hard strat. So now it's Red Pepper 6 v Grim for the top three for that final podium position, with Fade F4 still following along in this one. Who can bring that home, that final podium position, as Albert looking like he's got the pace, but his teammate right behind also trying to beat him in this race. Oh, there's going to be contact! Grim hits his own teammate! That is going to be immediate for the drama as a hit to the back of Red Pepper 6. And now it's going to be Grim up into P3, and he's hurt his own teammate's race down to P6. And look, boy, now P4 and P5, as now both the AlphaTauris are in between both the Ferraris. Kezi gonna get a free second time penalty. Everybody with penalties besides Alfie and PLG. And now on to lap 25. This race coming to its end. We got 10 more laps to go. Sorry, 11 more laps to go in this one. And right now, Look Boy still chasing down the Ferrari of Grim. Grim probably gonna be under a bit of trouble there by his team principal. After all, Red Pepper is the boss of the team, and Grim is his driver, and now Grim has hurt his own team principal's race. Luck Boy ahead of Fade F4. Audi now going for the move on Red Pepper 6. Up into P6 goes Audi. As he absolutely made a beautiful move there on the Ferrari. Albert, not much he can do to defend. And he's definitely seething, I feel, a little bit of this after this race. After that big contact there between him and his teammate. Luck Boy, P4, behind the Ferrari of Grimm. And this now has definitely changed the overall situation here in this race. And, of course, this battle. As now we watch, contact between the AlphaTauris. Audi into the back of Fate. Luckboy might have brake-checked his teammate. And this is the difficulty of close racing here, as both teammates are also going to hurt their team principals. Fate F4, the team principal for AlphaTauri. Red Pepper 6, the team principal for Ferrari. Both get into incidents, and it partially is due to their teammate. But now Luckboy trying to send a crazy dive around the outside. It was never going to work, though. Too late on the brakes. Big mistake made. Napoleon, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Audi really trying to run whatever he can on this strategy. And now trying to go side by side with Grimm. Fate F4, Grimm into the pits, and he makes the move. Audi gets 3-second time penalty and pushes Fate off the track a little bit. And now it's going to be side by side. Red Pepper 6 v Audi for that podium spot. Who's going to take it? Audi on the medium tires, the faster compound too, and also the less worn compound. Albert not going to be able to defend much against that. Audi up into the top three, and now on fresher tires again, with a chance now. 13 seconds between him and PLG. He's got a lot of work to do. And he's only got 8 laps or so to do it. Fate F4, though, still on the back end of that Ferrari. As we're going to go on board with that AlphaTauri. As he looks here to make his move. And now down the inside, Fate F4. Oh, big spin! Red Pepper 6 and Fate F4 into each other. Fate F4 gets spun around by the Ferrari. And he gets his front wing completely demolished there trying to recover. Safety car out on the track. And that's going to bring the race close again. And that's actually going to allow Audi now a chance to fight now for the win. An opportune safety car for some drivers, but for both the Alfa Romeo drivers, this is a horribly timed thing. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Albert and him collided into the chicane. And then he was trying to get out, and then when he tried to... Yeah, it took his wing clean off, and that's what the safety car got called for. So now, Audi changing onto the soft tires. I think everyone expected to change onto it. Now it's going to be a shootout to the finish. This is going to be some content. So a lot of drivers moving on to the softs, obviously due to the quali. And so now, This is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in this one. Do you want to know? Do you want to know the answer to that question? Doge 18. Audi has the highest pens, 12. Wait a minute, Audi has... You have 12 seconds? And now Audi joins the queue on the back of both the Alfa Romeos. Team Super Jazz. See, as a commentator, I'm like, yes, action! As a team principal, I'm like, damn it! It's a double-edged sword. Yeah, I know, so... I'm thankful for that, but also I'm kind of unthankful for that because that does leave this final shootout a little bit of a sour taste because it would be sick if I didn't have penalties and it was a like straight race to the finish. Well, he probably could. Yeah. He can probably get a couple of those penalties taken off because he did say a couple of them weren't his fault, so you can appeal those. So he can get a couple of them taken off. I don't think I'll have to do much in terms of like trying to defend my drivers because I don't think they've done anything wrong, unless of course you have anything to tell me about. Because I. Yeah, well, not even really Tame, no offense. Tame's been good. Like, Tame's been good, but he did kind of fall away at the second stint. However, Audi has been there the whole time. Like, battling the whole time. Yeah, no, I saw the Alpha... Yeah, I was watching the Ferraris versus AlphaTauris, and I'm like, well, PLG and Audi is starting to kind of fall apart a little bit, and then Audi went to the pit, so you're like, I'm going to watch this, and then I saw Red Pepper get punted by Grimm, and then I saw you get brake checked by Lookboy a little bit, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is actually crazy. It's a war. Oh yeah, no, it's fun. That was fun. That is so fun. Yeah, dude, that was... No, honestly, like, the Team v Team battle, like, dude, trust me, I got some good footage from that. That was fun to watch. And then, don't even worry, Audi. PLG and Alf and you are, like, the rest of the race footage. PLG is supposed to be my main driver for the season. Alfie's more just a, like, really, really backup. I want to get another driver in that's probably UFOL pace, if I can find one. And then Alfie's... Yeah, I have Harris, obviously, but that depends on when he makes the races. I want to find another UFOL pace driver just in case I don't have to use both of them at the same... No, Alfie. Because Alfie's way faster and a little more unfair. Also because Alfie said he can't make most of the races anyways. So, Alfie is just, like, real fringe. He might still be on my team. I don't know if we have, a roster cap of, like, 3 or 4, because I know I've seen Red Bull with, like, 5 drivers at one point. Yeah, I know. I've seen Red Bull with, like, 5 drivers at one point. Oh, okay. So we're finally enforcing that now? Okay. Okay, maybe if I can find another driver, I might consider dropping Alfie. That sounds like that's really terrible to say. I should probably like talk to Alfie about it. I'll talk to him about it, but yeah, I don't think he'll care. All right, I'll be back. So the race is back on. Alfie v PLG. Audi behind, trying to get that podium. He more so, I think, wants to keep pace with the Alphas and try and just build up a bit of a gap there. So Tame and Red Pepper 6 can't close in. However, Tame and Red Pepper 6 have less penalties than him and just need to stay close in this 4-lap shootout. Alfie now. Building up that gap as usual. Running those soft tires hard. And PLG doing everything he can himself to really try and get away from the Red Bull. Audi trying to do everything he can to try and negate his penalties and keep himself on the podium. But we'll have to see. Because again, we have had some talk with drivers about the possibility of some penalties not being their fault. So again, anything can be appealed. We'll have to see what happens as this Grand Prix continues. And especially after the aftermath. As you know, the next race I'll always keep you updated after the aftermath of the previous Grand Prix. Red Pepper 6 still going to get a free second time penalty, so that's going to help out Audi. That's going to be a big helper there. Alfie Ofri Jones dropping the fastest lap at a 1:10.788. And now Audi just trying to build up that gap now. He now saw that Red Pepper 6 got a big pen coming his way. And Red Pepper 6 actually is going to fall another way down. Fade F4 going to be getting another free second time penalty. The penalties are insane right now in this race. And Audi right now chasing down. He's getting chased down by Tame Super Jazz. We're going to see what's going to happen now. On to lap 34 after this one. Audi trying to build up that gap there to Tame. He's almost got 3 seconds coming up. If he can keep gaining at this pace, he may very well get himself on the podium here. DRS enabled. And Red Pepper 6 is retired from the session. Something has happened to the Ferrari. There's been a crash. Ferrari, we lost Red Pepper 6 into the chicane too. Could it have been a hit with the Wall of Champions? I don't know, but Red Pepper 6 is out. One of the Ferraris gone and dusted from this Grand Prix. Now Audi just has one threat to worry about, and that is Tame Super Jazz, who is real close behind. 2 laps to go. Can Audi keep up the pace? Can he run the race? And can he stay ahead of that car? Actually, never mind. I was going to say he might be getting the podium, but Grimm is there with the 3 second time penalty. So actually, Grimm most likely is the realistic 3rd place finisher. He won't be on track, but he'll definitely be in the race. At least after penalties, as far as penalties are concerned. But now, coming through the hairpin, the penultimate lap, PLG, Tame Super Jazz going side by side with Grimm. Who's going to be able to hold on? Who's going to put the throttle down? And Grimm right now has the DRS. He's going to be able to get through, makes the move nice and smoothly, although he gets a little shaky there near the end. Through the chicane, trying not to lose it. A little skid there through the chicane. That was actually really cool. And now Grimm, P4, chasing down the Red Bull of Audi, and with less penalties too, which means Grimm very much is going to be our 3rd place finisher, considering how much of a... Oh, PLG gets a 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. PLG has gone off a few too many times for the steward's liking, and now he's got himself a 3 second time penalty. He needs to keep moving now. We never know what's going to happen in a race like this. PLG doing everything he can. But I think he's got more than enough of a gap out. He has way more track limits penalties. Of course, they can be appealed. But time will remain. We've had some drivers already talking about the possibility of appealing some track limits penalties, and I wouldn't doubt it because Canada is one of those tracks where it's very easy to get it. But now Alfie Ofri Jones coming down the final straight. He's done the work. He's done the time. He's built the gap, and he's lost it twice, but he's built it again. And Alfie Ofri Jones now coming around the final bend. Luckboy gonna crash out, and it's Alfie who wins the Canadian Grand Prix. PLG P2, Audi P3. Grimm gonna take 3rd place away from Audi. On track with Tame also taking it away. 4th place for Tame by just barely. Fade F4 comes home P6. Napoleon the Doge P7 with Kezi, the last person rounding the circuit, albeit will take P7 off of penalties or not. And so that's going to be it for the race. Kezi finishes P8, Doge P7, and the top 3 is Alfie, PLG, and Grim. A great drive from Grim, too, making his way up from nearly the back of the field after a crash in Quali to get himself up to P3. That is a beautiful drive by him. And so, Alfa Romeo on top. This is a sight we've never really seen here in the UFOL, and now it's a sight that's happened. Champagne going wild. Alfa Romeo seeing a 1-2 finish and a wonderful drive there. A great battle with Audi there for second between PLG, but PLG ultimately gets the slight advantage and slight edge in that one. So, that was your first race in the season. Alfio Free Jones, P1, 26 points, fastest lap on top. PLG will bring home P2, sorry. And P3, Grim, after a hard-fought move up the field. Fourth will go to Tame Super Jazz. Audi losing some positions, the strategy not working out as well as he wanted, and the penalties really adding up here. Fade F4, P6, Napoleon, P7, 8th is Kezi. Luckboy finishing a lap down with a retirement, and Red Pepper 6 and WBU Zach, not classified finish. Actually, no, Red Pepper 6 is a classified finisher, but Zach, a non-classified finisher in this one. The only DNF of the full Grand Prix, at least in terms of classification, and the only non-point scorer. I'm your host, Biggie Smoke. Alfa Romeo off to a quick start in this one. Some will argue it's a little bit scummy, the team I've hired, but we'll try and make it more fair as time goes on. I'm your host, Biggie Smoke. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week with round 2. Bye for now.